Well, last time I saw you, man, was freaking like 3 weeks ago,
Yeah, almost a month.
and we were coming out of Men's Warehouse for the wedding prep.
We did, yeah.
Ryan's getting married, by the way. I think we might have mentioned that in a previous episode, but
Yep, it's part of our lore now. Is I am getting married
soon,
soon. Yeah, in the like 5 months now.
5 months
It's coming up. Yeah.
So I got to lose some weight.
Me too. Me too.
We can talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, last time I saw you, we were coming out of Men's Warehouse. And because we were looking at, or I was looking at suits for groomsmen and stuff,
Yeah.
trying to pick stuff out for you guys, and we did not have a good experience.
No, I've been wanting to talk to you about it. It was funny because we had left the place, and we were in the parking lot, and I could tell you were disappointed.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be optimistic kind of like the whole time. I was trying to kind of like be like a little bit of a jester, I guess you could say, just to kind of like, make it a light atmosphere. But you asked me right when we got out, you're like, what's your thoughts on that? And I was like, that guy's an idiot. And then that was all we said. And we just got in our cars and like left. So we haven't really talked about the experience too much.
Yeah. No, you said the guy was an idiot, and I was like, yep, I agree. And like that was pretty much it.
I could tell you were really disappointed. Yeah. I will say your vision for what you want to go with is sick. Like,
Yeah, but it's also like super simple. So
super
like
simple. Yeah.
that was kind of the letdown, is that I didn't go in looking for like tangerine suits and blue ties. I didn't come with like all these demands of like I need like 11 people in clown suits. I need this and this. It was
Bare bones.
it's like black suit and tie, man. That's all I need.
White shirt, black
yeah.
coat, black pants.
Yeah,
black
one guy's
shoes.
got a different color because he's standing up on as a dude's maid.
Yep.
So he needs a different color. That was really the only oddball out of the whole
Yeah.
ordeal. But what was weird is that we were gonna go like the week before, and I was like, let me call him to make sure I don't need to like make an appointment or anything.
Yeah.
It's like right before I'm about to leave, I call him and they're like, oh yeah, actually you do need an appointment. And I was like, okay. I mean, makes sense
Yeah, it does.
to have someone kind of like there to like guide you through the process. I thought it was going to be like, they were here to like, really take care of you.
Well, dude, you hear when like girls go try on dresses that they have like a glass of champagne and that they're offered like they're in like a special little room, and they have like mirrors that are set up to where when like they come out, like they are like kind of like they do like a little twist in the mirror, and then everybody, the salesman's hyping everybody up, and it's supposed to be kind of like part of like wedding,
Yeah.
like part of like wedding experience in a way.
They're like-
I would think so.
They're like actually trying stuff on.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
We didn't do any of that.
No.
We did no trying of anything on because the guy did not have anything for us to try on. He didn't have any samples of
No.
anything. It wasn't like Ryan, like I said, it wasn't like Ryan, or like Ryan said, it wasn't like he was asking for some crazy suit. It was just the simple. It was like their brand of suit too. It was like Men's Warehouse's, like their brand. that
Yeah.
they do.
They're like whatever Calvin Klein equivalent of
Yeah.
of whatever. And so yeah, so I mean, like we walk in after I've made the appointment, like we come a week later finally, and we also had to just kind of like stand there and wait too, like after our appointment was supposed to start, because I mean they were busy. It's prom season,
Yeah.
and but it was just kind of like even after like we got the guy to help us out, I could see his like eyes were like bouncing around the store because it was busy and like there wasn't enough people to help anyone else out. So
Yeah.
it made me feel bad. I was like, I'm hogging up this one guy, but he should be my guy right now to help me with
You
this.
have a scheduled appointment.
Yeah, and none of these people do. Like
Right.
if they're going to prom, they should just be shopping at Kohl's right now. They should not be in a Men's Warehouse.
I said the exact same thing to the guy. I said, why are you guys so busy for prom season? And he was like, well, people want to come and get suits. And I was like, I don't think I remember one kid ever wearing a suit to prom or to like, and maybe I'm wrong. I didn't go to prom. So I'm thinking homecoming actually. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm totally off.
Oh,
on
maybe.
that.
So was it prom season or homecoming that we were there for? Because prom maybe makes a little bit more sense. Because I did get
It was prom.
it was prom. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't go. Never mind. I'm totally talking out of my ass. I did not go to prom. Maybe everybody does wear suits to prom, and I would have been the oddball
Yeah.
wearing a Kohl's button up and khakis.
And a chain wallet.
And a chain wallet, yeah. Yep. And dyed red hair.
You're like, what do you mean? Men's Wearhouse doesn't have trip pants. What the hell?
Well, I said that to the guy. I was like, don't people just go to Kohl's? And he looks at me, he's like, Kohl's sucks. That was that was like his first thing he said to us. I was like, okay.
Nobody walks out of here looking like Steve Harvey.
Yeah,
That was his that was his bit. Like
he would never, he said it at least 4 times.
Yeah. Yep. And I thought it was funny because it was that, and then he said something else. This was in regards to me being like, because I've had Men's Wearhouse experiences where like guys can look kind of sloppy coming out of there because it's just kind of like they're just like
it's like a factory of male fashion.
Factory suits.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like, do you want A or B, basically?
Yep.
And do you want like tailored cut A or B? But the guy was like, I got a rule that no one leaves looking like Steve Harvey. And then like a couple minutes later, it was just like, yeah, like I said, I got a rule. No one leads looking like Eggman from Sonic. You know, it was just like he had all these different like characters.
No, I called his ass out on it. I said, do you just have like a roster in your head of like people who wear shitty suits, and you just like, that's like your thing, that's your bit. You just like kind of like layer them in, like, oh, I don't want anybody looking like Turtle Man from Mystery Man or whatever, Masters of the Universe or whatever the hell that movie is,
or Master of Disguise.
Master of Disguise.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And he did say yes. Yeah, he did. He was like, yeah.
He's like in the break room. He's got like a note in his phone of just like a list. He's got like
that was definitely his bit, but he couldn't have given 2 shits. And I think when I think back on it, and we sound like Karen's kind of here too, like really like, you know, picking apart this business, but I think back on it, it probably was instant gratification for him to sell something to like a prom person because it's so close, whereas yours is like kind of far away and whatnot, that maybe he was like preoccupied and like, man, I got to get to all these kids that need suits now.
Yeah.
As opposed to like having a consultation with someone that might not even end up going
right
with what we're doing or something like that.
But if you think about it, like I would bring like 7 or 8 suits worth of business instead of just one person.
What's the bonus structure like at Men's Wearhouse? Is it price per suit?
Got to figure that out.
Men's Wearhouse.
If got to get on that,
workers, let us know what your what your commission rates are, man.
I thought the funniest thing though was when we were there, and like I thought we would get a little bit more guidance, like more opinions, more like, hey, you know, we might have these, but they're kind of going out of style. Because
you did ask a few questions. You're like, is this in? Is this trending?
I don't wear suits to the office. I don't wear.
I've never worn one in my life.
Yeah, I've only worn one for like standing up in other weddings.
Oh yeah, I did.
And I couldn't tell you what the name of the suit was or what brand it was.
Yeah.
So I'm like looking at these. He gives us a little like magazine. It's like in one binder. Yeah, like a binder, but every sheet's in like a little like film like socket. I don't know what those are called. Like a little.
It's like what you put your trading cards in, like a plastic file.
Yeah, but it was like every page had one of those.
Yeah.
So, which it definitely desperately needed because the photos were faded AF. It was they were hard.
Old.
Yeah. The models, I'm sure everything looked kind of like 10, 15 years old, probably.
He warned us. He pushed it towards you, and he's like, yeah, this book's a little bit outdated. And then when we cracked it open, I saw the Staples logo. I saw the Staples logo on those little sheets, and I was like, immediately, I was just like, that's not their logo anymore.
You're trying to do the math in your head, like when did they close?
I'm like, that's not their logo anymore.
When did they go through rebranding? You're like trying to do the backwards math.
Exactly.
But I remember it was in front of both of us, and we were both flipping through the pages looking at it. And I'm just like scratching my chin. I'm like, okay. Yeah, all right. And then I don't think you're saying anything. And then like, I look at the guy, like, I'm hoping that he sees me kind of like struggling, like not knowing what to choose or say. So he doesn't say anything for like what felt like an eternity.
Yep.
And I basically like step back and I'm like, I'm going to be honest. These all look the same to me.
And I just cheered. I was like, thank God I'm not the only one thinking that, because I'm watching over your shoulder and I'm just like, every page looked the same, just a different model.
Yep.
Different guy. You know,
like it could be a different color of the same suit, and like it could be an entirely different suit, but it still looked like the same style suit to me.
Yeah.
And And the guy was just like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Yeah, they kind of all look the same." And he like agreed with this too, and I was like, "Well, what am I supposed to pick then? How do I know? Like,
You're
is there
supposed to
like
guide us,
yeah,
man.
like
Yeah.
is a cut like like slightly different? Like does some one of them only come in like slim fit? Like
Are they tailored? Are they, yeah, are
yeah,
some available to be like, uniquely altered, or are some just stock? Yeah.
yeah, like are some like a different material?" I was like, It's an outdoor wedding." I was like, Help me out here." I'm like, I'm asking all these questions, and he's still just kind of like, he's like, "You pick." It was just like he didn't like really care like what I wanted to do.
At this point, I could tell you were now like, I could tell this was not going your way.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell you were like upset a bit. But then it, like, the nail in the coffin for me was Ryan had picked a suit that he thought was suitable for us, which was, it was basically, like I said, it was just men's warehouses. They're like their brand. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like their brand of, like you said, Calvin Klein suit.
Their house brand.
Their house brand. Yeah, it looked cool in the pictures. It looked really cool. But then he's like, "Yeah, we don't have any samples to show you or to have you try on." And then you're like, "Okay, well, what colors does it come in?" Because you wanted to get it to be the same color as the bridesmaids' dresses for the
Oh.
dude's maid,
Yep.
which is a champagne color. They didn't have champagne, which I thought was really odd. They didn't.
That's like real popular right now.
I
Like,
think it's been popular. Like,
yeah.
it's not like it's some like new color. It's
Yeah.
like,
Like I said, I'm not coming in asking for like turquoise and orange colored suits and
no,
dresses and
like,
stuff.
I can
so.
picture like Bond women in like that color. Like, it's a
Yeah.
pretty like timeless color is, I
Yeah.
guess, what I'm trying to say, he's like, "Yeah, we don't have that," or whatever, which then you're like, "What colors do you have?" And so then he like breaks out this book, and he's
I'm
like,
trying to like help him give me the sale at this point. I was like, show me what you got that matches. Like, I'm like
Yeah.
pulling teeth here at this point.
We don't end up finding a decent match for the champagne, but now you've moved on to like, okay, well,
hold on,
maybe
before the one thing that he did show me was like a Steve Irwin khaki color, and I was like, this is not champagne.
yeah, it was brown.
I was like, I'm not coming out here as like
You're like-
crocodile hunter, It's we're looking for champagne.
A full khaki suit. Yeah, dude. Not a good look. Not a good look. So you had moved on from that. You were like, I'm just gonna get that somewhere
We'll
else.
figure something out.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't think he understood that. I think he kept trying to find you a solution,
Didn't click.
but it didn't click. But then, like I said, the nail in the coffin here is when then you're like, all right, well, let's just talk about colors of the suit, because there's like there's different blacks. There was different like, there's like a charcoal black and like a
Mhm.
midnight black and whatnot. And so he's showing you this thing, and he's like, "Yeah, we only got one black. This just black." And he like points to it, and or no, he's like, "We got two blacks that are just black." And he like points to the two blacks, and then you're like, "No, man, I think it's just one black. That other one is patterned."
No, before that, I was like, one of them's a little bit more blue than the other.
Yeah,
And He couldn't see that,
No,
but I think you could. You
I
could.
did. Yeah, I was like, one's lighter.
Yeah, I was like, one of
Yeah.
them's definitely got a little bit more blue. It's like kind of purplish. Like maybe it's just the 15-year-old print we're looking at that's
It could
faded.
be. Yeah,
But
yeah.
clearly, one was a little bit different color black, and he was like, "Oh, they're both black." And I was like, "Well, give me the true black color." But then,
But yeah, so then he's like, "No, they're both the exact same, actually. They're both." And then you're like, "No, you ended up like pulling your phone out. You're like, am I losing my mind here, man?" You like took your phone out, you put your flashlight on it. You're like,
I pulled the dad in the restaurant move here.
yeah, you pulled out your phone. You're like, that one has a pattern on it. That one's not even just a solid color. There is a pattern on that. And he's like, no, it's not. And you're like, "No, man, there's a pattern on here." And he gets closer and he's like, "Good thing you noticed that. What if we would have gone with that?" And all of a sudden now we've got like paisley, like black on black paisley suits we're all wearing or something,
Uh, yeah, and like looking back now, I wonder how many people ended up getting the wrong one because of that too. Because he's just like, "Yeah, it's all the same. You're good. You're good."
What's funny too is like when I stood up in a wedding, I didn't go get my suit with the groom, right? I was told, kind of how you have some groomsmen who are out of the state. They're going to end up
Yeah.
going to wherever they're going to go, get what they need to get, and they're not going to have any interaction with you. You're right. What if like it would have been that way where they would have just thought, well, I guess Ryan went with like black on black paisley, like, and then they just show up to the wedding, and all of a sudden you're like, what the hell?
Three
Like,
guys got a pattern, one guy doesn't.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You're totally right. That's,
It'd be like, did this guy just like sneak into the photos here, or is he actually part of the wedding?
I don't know. Sounds like we're being Karens, but honestly, it was just it was one thing after another, and It was
Maybe
it
I
was
had my
surprising.
expectations too high because my fiance had just gone, or not just, but she had gone through the process of getting her dress, and I had heard about their process. And you're right, like the champagne,
Yeah.
you get your own room, and it's kind of like a little party almost. Like
Well, yes,
when
and
you're
I
doing
heard the
this.
exact same thing. My wife is part of the wedding party as well, um, on the bride's side, and she said, yeah, it was a ball. She
Yeah.
said it was an absolute ball. She's like, dude, we had so much fun.
Yep.
I think it was the first time she had met the other bridesmaids too, and she as well
Mm.
talked very highly of them. So
Okay.
it's gonna be dope.
Yeah. So maybe it was just my expectations weren't in line for. Maybe it's just a totally different world for guys when they go shopping for their own suits. So
Maybe you and I need to open up like a suit store, and that's like our
and it is a party every time.
yeah, dude, that'd be sick. Yeah.
By the way, this is maybe kind of related, but I was talking to one of my coworkers recently, and he was telling me about some bar that had opened in the Dells area.
Okay.
And I also bring this up because that's where my fiance is going for her bachelorette parties.
Yes.
The Dells. But this guy, my coworker, was telling me that like it wasn't recently. This was probably a couple years ago. There was a bar that opened in the Dells. It was just called Wet.
Oh,
Have
it's a
you-
nightclub.
Yeah, have you heard about this?
Yes, it's a nightclub.
Well, it ended up shutting down.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the owners thought it would be a great idea to have like maybe like an inch or two of the floor is just all water. It's just water. That's why it was called Wet. And so that you would come in and it would be like kind of like a wet bar, I think they were trying to do like too much like play on words type of thing.
Do you take your shoes off?
Yeah. And so like you're in there, like I don't know what, like if it was made out of like tub material or shower material that you're standing on,
How
but
high is the water level?
it was like a couple inches. It wasn't like you were like up to your
What's
waist.
the point?
Exactly. Yeah. But like people started getting athlete's foot and all these other like fungal diseases, and they had to like basically shut down because of it, because they probably weren't putting chlorine in the water. Who knows how often they were changing it out. But I just like when he was telling me this, I was just like, this is so bizarre, but also very on par for Wisconsin Dells.
I did not know that. I knew that there was a nightclub in the Dells called Wet,
Yeah.
but I had no idea that it got shut down because they were freaks of nature that decided to put a couple inches of water
Yeah.
throughout the entire thing. Also, did you have people slipping and like cracking their heads open and shit?
Yeah. Or like peeing in it. Like they do pee in the pool. Like is that why people were also getting
You can't really hide that, man. Like, where are you gonna do that with a couple inches of water?
Yeah, some guy just standing in the corner facing the wrong way. I mean, it's not any different than like peeing in a real bar, probably, but
Exactly.
maybe it makes more noise. But
Dude, I had a memory that just hit me it was back there, but it just came to the forefront with us talking about having like
a wet bar?
like making our own suit company that's like a party all the time, and it's
Yeah.
like made for men and stuff like that. There was, I don't know if you know this, but there was out in the boonies, probably like 45 minutes from here, there was a haircut place called Sexy Shears. Did you ever hear about that?
I think I have heard about it, but I don't know the lore behind this place.
Dude, they had some crappy like local commercials for it that were like really poorly done at the time. This was probably like 2009, maybe
Okay.
2008, 2009, I would say.
Yeah.
Really bad, poor local commercials of like women that looked like they still were from the 80s, even though it was 2008. So their hair was all like teased, like big, like the 80s and whatnot.
Like short hair too.
No, like big teased hair.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, like big teased hair. And they were all like just being super like the White Snake video from it just reminded me, it was like very 80s. It was like very like 80s, like women, like overly sexualized type stuff.
You're like, is this a haircut commercial or am I watching an ad for a
Well, that
strip
was the
club?
whole thing, is that they cut your hair in lingerie. That was like the whole,
okay.
that was the whole deal. It was called Sexy Shears. It was 45 minutes away. I shit you not, me and my
Did you
friend,
you went to it?
me and my friend Dan went to it. We went to it. We did. We drove the 45. We went to it. We got our hair cut by the
You're
women.
feeling down. You're
It was so uncomfortable.
really.
It was so uncomfortable. They didn't act like they did on the
Uh,
commercial. It wasn't all fun and games. It was like sad women in lingerie
okay.
cutting your hair and not talking to you the entire time. And then you leaving going, I don't ever want to do that ever again.
But also, you said the time frame. Maybe they were worried about you guys being minors.
I mean, we were.
Yeah, exactly.
But there wasn't like a rule, I don't think, that because there wasn't any nudity, you know?
Sure, yeah.
I mean,
You're like
pretty damn close.
You're like one step away from being in an actual strip club,
Yeah,
but it's like
maybe that's why they weren't saying anything to us. Yeah, they were just like,
that was the first thought that came into my head. Like, am I cutting this child's hair? And he sees me with no clothes. I would not act right for that.
Sexy Shears. I wonder if they still have anything like online, like any like a website or like a Facebook page or anything like that. You know,
there's got to be some like internet data out there that has like the archives of the internet for them.
I don't know why it just hit me when I was thinking of like starting a. I think my first thought was I was like, yeah, if we do a suit business, man, we'll have like go-go dancers like in there and whatnot. And then I was like, that sounds kind of like Sexy Shears.
Would it also be so dark in there that you can't see the colors of the suit that you're picking out too?
Yeah, we'd go under for that.
Yeah,
for the lighting.
But you saying that reminded me of this place nearby. They had like, what was it called? Bottomless Tuesdays, where the female bartenders didn't wear any pants.
Yeah.
That was their deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it lasted very long because like you could look it up in the local newspaper and it would show that, that there was like these almost like a crime report where like these guys were following these women home after their shift.
Yeah.
And it became like obviously like a clear safety hazard for your own staff. So I'm sure they got like the kibosh put on that. Like I'm sure the community like they got some backlash from it, but because I don't remember that being a thing. I was probably too young to go into that bar when they were doing that.
I think honestly, I don't think you were. I think it was just towards the end of like me being 21, they stopped because I had a coworker at the time who swore by it.
Really?
And was going weekly. Yeah.
For the Bottomless Tuesdays?
For the Bottomless Tuesdays.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Dude, only in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Only in Wisconsin are you having bars that are just wear whatever top you want, but bottom, you're in your underwear.
Yeah. You got no choice on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel bad for him though, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what ended up happening with the case, but I do recall like a stalking situation or like something like that. And
I don't think anyone got hurt, but it was like clearly not safe.
Someone could have, easily.
Yeah. So they stopped that, but I think ever since then, I don't know.
Their business hasn't hurt at all.
Yeah, I'm not surprised based on the location where they're at either.
No, their business is they thrive, man. I drive past that place; they're packed.
Yeah,
they're packed for sure. So I don't know.
Weird Wisconsin facts.
Weird Wisconsin. Come for your sexy shears. Come for your bottomless women
and your wet bars.
And your wet bars. Oh my God, I can't believe the wet bar thing. I almost feel like you're like pulling my chain.
No, I'm not.
I mean, insane.
I'm at the liberty of believing my coworker at this point because I didn't fact check any of it.
Okay,
but he seems like the person who would know and wouldn't just be like making something like that up. So
yeah, okay, all right.
I mean, how would you come up with that off the top of your head? That like there was a wet bar called Wet that had water on the floor.
My jaw was like literally stuck open when you were telling me about it. I'm like, no way, dude. That's the dumbest business. Like what's the point?
I think it was because it was close to Noah's Ark. They wanted to kind of like leech off of that type of business. You know, people that are looking for like, an after hours wet beach, wet bar type of thing.
I got you. Dude, Noah's Ark though is sick. If we're talking about attractions in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
On the opposite end of the spectrum from Sexy Shears and Wet, Noah's Ark rules.
I've only been one time and I was young. It was like when we first moved here.
Oh, so dude, we got to go.
It's been a minute since I've been there.
So fun.
I got a thing I got to ask you. I was watching commercials as I do in between my Hulu shows, which has lately just been daily and binging Daredevil, the new Daredevil.
Have you been watching it?
I've been like watching it with her.
Is it good?
Well, I've been watching it as I play like my Steam Deck. I'm just like gaming out on the couch. Sure. It'll be on. The funny thing is one of the main bad guys in that show, his name is Fisk. And this isn't even related to the point that I want to get to, but this is reminding me, Fisk is his name.
Okay.
With a K, Fisk. Okay. He's also a bald bud. And Daleen has made the point where like if the camera's like behind him, like if it's like trying to make him look like a looming figure, she just be like, you guys have the exact same head. She like me. Like she's like you and Fisk have the exact same head. Like I would think that's you in the shot right now. So I'll have to like see if I can find like maybe I should make a comparison shot of
Dude,
me
you
next to Fisk and see if
it's funny. Like, bald is bald, right? But kind of every bald person does have their own unique head.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
some people, fortunately, they got kind of weird heads. You might have a
Yeah.
cone head. You might have, like, I think you and I'm not okay. I'm gonna gas us up here a second. I think you and I are blessed that
Mhm.
we are bald and we have heads that are not freaking weird. We don't
Yeah.
have weird lumpy heads. We don't have weird.
Hey, but even if you
Cone
do,
heads.
you're still a bald bud. in
You
our
are.
eyes.
Oh,
Yeah.
you are. You are. I'm just saying we're blessed.
Yeah.
I'm flexing a bit.
Yeah.
I'm just flexing.
But I know what you mean though. It's not like unfortunate to have like or inconvenient to have like a bump on her head that you got to be careful to shave around. Like I can
Right.
I can breeze through shaving my head
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
quickly with
I mean, I've got acne because unfortunately that's just my skin. I have very sensitive skin, but I'm talking just shape wise.
sure. Yeah.
I'm happy with the shape of my dome. Happy with it. But anyways, tell me about what you were getting at with this.
Yeah. So I mean, so Fisk, I got the same bald head
ad,
as this
though.
guy. Yeah. The ad, but also Fisk in general though. This is so funny. The way he talks in the show is he talks kind of like this. I'm a very serious man.
Yeah.
He kind of like brings
A raspy voice.
brings his register down a bit. And then she was listening to an interview with him. And he kind of talks like this. He's more of it like he's like a little bit more British and he's like kind of a little bit more cheery sounding. And it's just like she's like, that's the guy. She's like, this is the guy that plays the bad guy. Like total
love
different
that.
person. Yeah. But so in between that show, there's ads. We get like Popeyes ads.
Yeah.
And have you seen the new Popeyes pickle menu?
No.
It's literally a menu design where every item that they have in this value meal is like pickle themed, including pickle lemonade.
No.
Yeah.
No. I don't like pickles. I don't like pickled anything.
Yeah. I mean, I do enjoy a pickle, but also not like in my lemonade. I don't think. They're not putting like a pickle in the lemonade, but it's like pickled flavored lemonade.
You know what that is? We talked about it like 4 episodes ago. That's future food.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
future food. That's what weirdos at all these fast food restaurants think that people want. They want the, take your grandma's stuffing and shove it in a mozzarella stick.
Oh yeah.
Stuffing mozzarella sticks. Like we don't want that shit. We just want mozzarella sticks. I don't.
Give me that good cheese pull. That's all I'm here for.
I just want a regular lemonade. I don't want
Yeah.
pickles in it.
Right.
That's gross.
I think it's like pickle fries too. Like the chicken the
Pickle chicken?
What's it?
Pickle chicken?
I think they put pickles on the chicken,
Oh,
which isn't weird to me. I don't think. I think,
Yeah.
but it's just like the whole menu is like pickle theme, and I lost it at the pickle lemonade. I was like, no thanks. I was like, we only have one Popeyes in town, but I'm not rushing there for this pickle menu because it just looked.
Not a big Popeyes guy in general.
No, I think
No.
I only went to it like when it opened, and it was
Yeah.
just kind of like mid. So.
I do like their popcorn shrimp. It's my one thing.
Oh, okay.
I like the popcorn shrimp.
Popcorn shrimp guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or chicken. I'm really fucking up. Yeah. Popcorn
Well-
chicken.
Yeah. Weird future food.
Weird future food. Well, have you been watching anything? I know I asked you, I haven't seen you in like 3 weeks. So is there anything you're watching? Is there anything, are you, I know we like Love on the Spectrum. Did you watch the new season of Love on the Spectrum yet?
I think I'm like 2 episodes into it. 2 or 3 episodes into the new season. I'm trying to remember where we left off. I think it was whatever episode Adon and Danny were like exchanging gifts,
Oh.
which I mean, I'm not there's no spoilers yet for any of this, but I'm not if anyone listening is into the show, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but that was the last episode I remember. So I'm not very far into the show. And we've only met a couple of the characters or the couple of the folks that are on the show. So I still don't think we've been introduced to everyone who's on this season.
No,
yet
there
either,
is some new faces for
Yeah.
sure. I like it. I think it's a good season. I don't want to spoil anything for you then. I don't want to,
Yeah.
I'll let you watch it.
I mean, it's
but-
been tough because like I'll see like reels on like or like TikToks, and I have to swipe away because I don't want to like know like what's going on in their worlds, because I
Yeah.
want to find out for myself instead of like
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not going to say anything. Then I want to say that it's probably one of my favorite seasons so far
okay,
because there's a ton of wins.
that's good.
There's a lot of wins.
That's good.
It's awesome. It's
Yeah.
super cool. But yeah, but that's all I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
gotta finish it. It's a good season. It's a good season.
Besides that, like I said, Daredevil and like Survivor. Those are the only shows that we're watching right now.
Okay.
I do need to get on Righteous Gemstones, but Survivor's like a weekly thing. Like that's like our Wednesday night. We'll watch it.
I love that. We're like that with the challenge every Wednesday night.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's the same night too.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so we'll watch that, and the way we do it is I think her and one of her friends will pick someone we think is like a blind pick before the show even starts.
Yeah.
As to who we think is going to win the show.
Love it.
And then like you don't even get to read the bios. You're just looking at photos of the people in the
Yep.
cast. So you know their name and age and what they look like compared to the rest of the cast. And then you get an educated pick after the first episode. Because I think on the first episode someone goes home.
Yeah.
So you kind of get like a good start of like everyone's you kind of get a good feel of everyone's play style, their personality, and can kind of make an educated guess for that. So you get 2 picks. Sorry, what?
We should do that with like an old, like shitty, weird, like VH1, like something of love show that neither of us have seen.
Sure.
And we should do that where we try and like we pick someone and try and see how far they make it.
Yeah.
We can cut this. I'm sorry. You know, I'm just saying it just hit me. I was like, we should do that.
Flavor Flav. We could do like a flavor
Well, I've
of
seen
love.
all those. I've
Oh,
seen
yeah?
all
Okay.
those. Yeah. Yeah.
That's impressive. I haven't seen.
I've-
I couldn't say I've seen a whole
I've
season of
seen
it.
all of the Flavor of Love and all of the Rock of Love.
But maybe we do like a Bachelor or Bachelorette season.
Yes, something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
Because I am not schooled in every season of that, obviously.
I think I've watched a few episodes of like one, but honestly, that would be what you're describing you and Daleen doing. That would
Yeah.
be fun, man.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun.
Just to like try to power through the season to
Yeah.
see where our picks end up.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, but anyways.
Yeah, so I've got like one guy left in the show. I think we're maybe like maybe halfway through the show in terms of like its
Do
runtime.
you just get one pick or do you get a handful?
You only get 2. You
You
get
get
your
2 picks. Okay.
Yeah, you get your one before the show starts.
Oh,
Like
I see what you're saying. And then
then
your first episode
educated pick.
educated pick.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And so I try to pick real hard with like the blind pick, because sometimes like you can have a really good educated pick, but sometimes they go out. So it's like it's kind of hit or miss sometimes. Like someone could have a really good game, or sometimes maybe they give them a really good edit in the first episode, and then their whole game just kind of 180s after that.
What
So
the hell are you picking on the blind pick? Like, what are you going off of?
it's tough. Like sometimes I would try to balance it out, pick like a guy and a girl for one of each.
Okay.
But yeah,
Like, are
usually
you going off like strength? Like, oh, this guy looks muscular. Are you going off like this guy looks like an idiot? I don't like. He looks dumb. I don't think he's gonna make it. Like,
sometimes, honestly, a lot of the people that go really far in that game are the people that are like that fly under the radar. So someone that you might think looks like that, they could go really far because they're just like not on anyone's hit list. They don't cause like, chaos at the camp when they're trying to like just live their lives throughout the day while they're trying to like vote other people out. Like if you're someone who's making people's lives difficult, you might be higher up on like the chopping block.
yeah.
So yeah, sometimes it is like a good idea to pick like someone who's not like super strong or
Have you and Daleen got into that show called Villains?
no, but I need to watch that because I've heard it's
Your
really
guy
good.
is on it. The
Russell Hantz. Yeah, he's my
dude,
guy.
Your guy is on it. Yeah, yeah.
She hates him.
But guess who's also on it? Johnny Bananas, which is my guy from the challenge.
Also, I think isn't Boston Rob on it too?
That's who I was thinking of. Boston Rob. No,
Yeah.
that's who I was thinking of. Boston Rob. Who's the other guy that you just
Russell
said?
Hantz. But he is on the show. He's like labeled as like the most evil villain in all of Survivor. He's been on the show a
Is
couple
he the
times.
one that lied about his grandmother?
It might be. I'll
Where he was
pull up
like,
a-
yeah, my grandmother is in the hospital, and then they're like, all right, man, we'll let you have this retreat or whatever, and then he like
Oh
totally
no!
lied
I
about
know
it.
who you're talking about. Yeah, It's not that
I
guy.
think he went on to like direct a film. I think that guy's like a big director.
This is Russell Hantz.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
might,
Yep.
but he's on that show that you just mentioned though.
Villains.
Villains. Yeah, he's on that show.
It's honestly, it's pretty decent. Alice and I started one of the seasons. I think the most recent season. I think we're like 2 episodes in.
On Villains.
Can't stand the host.
Sure.
Sorry to whoever's a fan. I don't know his name, but he's like a really obnoxious Scottish guy. And I just can't do it.
He's a little Scottish guy.
Yes, he's a Scottish guy. Yeah.
Welcome to Villains. But it's yeah, I do need to check out that show. The same thing as like the Lego show. I felt like I couldn't stand the host for that either. Like,
Will Arnett, I can't stand
I
either.
know.
Sorry, Will Arnett fans. We're hating this episode. We're gonna call this episode
hate mail.
Hate Mail. The haters.
The haters.
Yeah. No, I can't do Will Arnett either. I can't do him in anything. I don't like him in general.
I'm looking forward to when we can do like an actual hate mail episode where we read like negative comments about.
Dude, that's
our
gonna be
posts.
hard for me.
Really?
I think so. I think that'll be hard for me, but I'll do it for sure.
Yeah. I think after a while you would probably like just have a chip on your shoulder. Like
Yeah, probably.
you'd probably get some thick skin on it. But
Yeah, you're right.
I would love to do a hate mail, a hate comment episode if we get. I mean, I'm hoping we don't get a lot, but I'm just saying that like just looking at a lot of other people's Instagram posts, there's
These guys suck.
people are just kind of they say whatever they want out there. So
It's true. It's true.
yeah.
We're just 2 bald dudes talking about the Lego show, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what's the hate?
No, you can't hate us.
No.
We're bald. We got nothing to hide.
Yeah. We're not trying to cover up anything.
Yeah. There's nothing you can say to me that I haven't said to my own bald head. So,
Oh man. Well, we got spring ahead of us here, and I have been just I don't even know why. I probably don't even need to talk about this on the podcast here, but I have been dealing with asthma. Like, it is insane.
oh, well, I mean, your health problems are a recurring thing in your life. So maybe
It is.
we do need to.
Dude, I mean, okay, so February, I know Daleen was sick. I was sick. I think you were sick, right? Or was this January?
Mm,
I had a chest infection in early February.
yeah, I got sick from whatever Daleen had.
She had a cough for a long time, right?
Yeah, it was a good couple months. It was like since December through like February she had that cough. It was like 2 or 3 months that she had it.
Yeah. I feel like late January, early February, I ended up getting a chest infection. And I was like, man, this sucks. Went in, got antibiotics, got rid of it within like a week. I was like, okay, cool. So I only dealt with that for like a week and a half. But then like from that afterwards, I was having such bad shortness of breath that I was waking up in the middle of the night, just like could not breathe.
That's scary.
And so I was using my inhaler probably like 4 to 6 times a day.
Smell
and-
albuterol?
Albuterol, which
Yeah.
is not good. That's too much.
Yeah.
And I didn't really look into that too much. But things were getting worse. And I went into the doctor like early March, and I talked to her about my symptoms and whatnot. And I told her how often I was using it. And she was like, dude, you are abusing that inhaler. That's called a rescue inhaler, not a daily inhaler. So your symptoms of asthma are actually worse because of that.
We call people like you a buterol abuser.
A never mind. I was trying to combine the 2 words. A butyl user.
Albuterol real user. I don't think you can combine.
No, this is a really dumb bit. This is me just like bitching about my health, to be honest. But anyway, so
Off your chest, literally and physically.
yeah, yes. I think I'm coming over the hump of this, but I go in again because I'm having this really bad shortness of breath. My doctor says you're abusing it and whatnot. She says, all right, I'm going to give you 40 milligrams of steroids you got to take for 3 days. Then you take 30 milligrams for 3 days. Then you take 20. Then you take 10, 3 days. Like this cycle of like ramping down or whatever.
Mhm.
I've never been on prednisone like that for that long or that high of milligram. And I went into what is called, no lie, my doctor told me this. So I'm not looking this up. It's called steroid-induced psychosis.
Okay.
And I'm not kidding you, dude. I had like a really rough couple weeks where I was on the shit. I couldn't fucking breathe. And on top of that, I didn't sleep for 4, almost 5 nights straight. And when I say like didn't sleep, I'm talking like I'm like walking around my house, like hallucinating, audibly hallucinating, thinking like people are like breaking in and shit. Like it was terrifying.
Were you like hearing voices, like people saying stuff?
Yeah, I was like hearing shit like in the kitchen from my bedroom and whatnot. So I'd get up and I would like look around and whatnot, and
What were people saying?
just like mumbling, like just like
So like a whisper or something, like
he's over there.
he's over there. I think he can see us. I think he can see us.
Yeah, like shit like that. And so Alice is like super concerned for me. She's like, you need to stop doing this. So I called my doctor on day 5. I called my doctor. It was a Sunday. She was off, and some nurse answered the phone. And I was like, dude, I this is hard to admit, but I'm hallucinating. I was like, I'm hearing shit. And I think it's because of the fact that I've been up for so long because of these high milligrams of steroids. Oh, also, I was also on an inhaler that was a steroid too. So not only was I taking prednisone at a high milligram,
You were just jacked up everywhere.
I was also taking an inhaler that was a stimulant.
Yeah, wow.
Also, so yeah, I was just like, I was going nuts.
And you were probably drinking Monster every day too.
I definitely was having my, not Monster, but I was definitely having
Caffeine.
high caffeine intake as well,
That
which
didn't help.
didn't help. I called and the nurse practitioner was like, that's not good. I'm gonna get in contact with your doctor and I'll give you a call back and let you know. She calls back and she says immediately, she's like, yeah, stop doing that immediately. Stop right now if that's what's happening. I was like, okay, sounds good. And also the doctor wants to see you for a follow-up for this crap. And I was like, perfect. I'm
Makes sense.
still can't breathe and I don't know what's going on with my head.
Yeah.
So then because I don't taper off and I'm at 30 milligrams at this point and I just cut it, there's what's called steroid withdrawal. And so then I'm going through this like crazy, I've never had a migraine a day in my life. Which, dude, have you ever had one?
No, I've only had like bad headaches, but not an actual migraine.
We are blessed that we've never had migraines before. Yeah. I had one from this steroid withdrawal. And I will tell you right now, I'm so sorry for anyone that I have ever not given enough love to that has migraines, because that was I felt like I wanted to chop my head off, dude.
That bad.
It was really bad. It was like 2 days of that. Anyways, I end up getting over all the steroid stuff, but I'm still having like insane breathing issues.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go into my doctor for the follow-up, which was yesterday.
Okay.
And I go in for the follow-up and whatnot. She's the one who tells me, she's like, there's a very select few people who have this thing called steroid-induced psychosis. You are one of them, and that's what that is. You can't take prednisone anymore, man. That's not going to be the goal for you.
You already can't take like a certain type of antibiotic too, can't you? Like
penicillin, I can't. Yeah.
You're just like knocking them out.
I can't take codeine or hydrocodone. But anyways, she's like, we got to take a chest X-ray and see, just like make sure that A, you don't have pneumonia. B, like everything's okay with your heart and your lungs and whatnot. So I took one. She ruled that all out. She literally looks at me. She's like, dude, I hate to tell you, but like you're just getting older and your asthma is just getting worse. And you just have really bad asthma. I was like, great. So now I'm on a daily, not this is my rescue inhaler.
Okay.
I'm on a daily for the rest of my life inhaled steroid.
Really?
Every day. I'd have to puff it once a day for the rest of my life.
Not like albuterol, but it's
nope,
like
it's a daily inhaler.
Wow.
I'm like, dude, I'm 32. I am getting old. Why do I have to do this? It's crazy, man.
I had one of those though when I was a kid. I had an inhaler because I had asthma.
Yeah. I did when I was younger too. I had a nebulizer when I was younger, like the mask, and then they pumped the
it wasn't like that.
oxygen into you, but I grew out of it.
Okay.
And then I just have workout induced, what I thought the last 5 years, workout induced asthma, which is what this has been for.
Okay.
The last like 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
But like I said, this last 4 months has been every day trying to catch my breath.
Yep.
And now I'm just being told, okay, you don't have workout induced asthma anymore. You have
old man asthma,
and you will be taking this every day.
Oh. Hey, but maybe you'll grow out of that too, though, because I mean, I grew out of the that asthma inhaler I had.
Dude, I hope so, man.
Yeah.
I hope.
I remember what it looked like. It looked like a little can of bubble tape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
flick it, and it would like reload the chamber, and
that's what it is.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what it is. Want to know
I
something really gross about that? It's a powder.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you don't wash your mouth out, you'll get a yeast infection in your mouth. It's disgusting.
And knowing you, that probably will happen.
No, no, I am a psychopath about it. I'm like, oh, I should have done that.
Like what? How do you wash your?
Shit. No, I had to just get that off my chest though. And to all my asthma people out there, man, I feel you, dude.
Well, you said you wash your mouth out like a psychopath. Speaking of psychopath, I did take a psychopath quiz recently.
I did too. We both did.
We both took a series of quizzes together. And I'm hoping that we can at least go through them and compare some some results. Some are not surprising to me in the least as far as the results go, but
I would agree with that.
maybe we can take like a short one live on the pod here.
Let's do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah. But I did take the Pooh pathology test.
Same. Can I guess?
Guess what I got?
Yeah, and then vice versa.
Yep.
First of all, let me set this up for everybody. So there is a page called Individual Differences Research. What's the
Like IDRL lab.
IDRL? Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
we saw that on TikTok. There's a ton of people taking these tests, and actually, my wife did.
IDRlabs.com.
My wife did, and she's like, "You guys should take these tests and then compare." And these were kind of like the popular ones here. This Pooh test will tell you a percentage wise of which character you gravitate towards, and it'll give you kind of like a percentage of like every character, how much relation you have to their personality.
Well, because every character on Pooh is supposed to be like a different type of like personality, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I heard that before going into the quiz, but it was interesting to see them laid out and like,
Yeah, Pooh is ADD, Piglet is anxiety, Tigger is ADHD, of course.
well, which also like we try to look up the difference between ADD and ADHD, and it sounds like one of the two. I think it's ADD is like they're both like used as like the same thing nowadays.
Yeah.
Isn't ADD the one that like it's kind of like not used in like the science field or like the medical field, that they just say ADHD now? They don't use ADD.
I think it's just ADHD. I think in the past it meant like ADHD was like you were hyperactive, and ADD was like you have problems focusing.
Sure.
But now it's just like you're kind of
It's
both.
the same thing.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
you're kind of both.
But they still broke it up on this quiz for those two.
They did. Yeah, Rabbit was OCD. Rue is autism. Eeyore is depression, and then Christopher Robin is schizophrenia. Is that because he's seeing all these things?
Yeah, because
talk?
then I don't know if he's imagining, but I think all of these characters are just like his own like plush toys that end up coming to life.
Weird.
So maybe that's what the schizophrenia was.
I could see that.
Yeah.
So what was the one that I think you are most like?
I want you to give me the one that you think I'm most like and then least like, and I'll do the same for you.
Okay, sounds good. The one I think that you are most like is Rabbit.
Okay.
The one I think you're least like is Eeyore.
Okay. For you, I think the one that you're most like is you're most like Tigger.
Okay.
And then I think the one that you're least like is probably also Eeyore.
Okay. You were very close. My most like was actually Pooh with
Oh.
ADD. So 67%
Which
was.
could have been the same thing.
Yep. And
so-
but it was 57 for Tigger. Was
Okay.
the second. So they were pretty much neck and neck.
Sure.
And
Okay.
then my least like, you were right, was Eeyore.
Okay.
It was my least like. Yep.
You got both of mine right, actually.
Yo, let's go. All right.
I am the rabbit.
I figured if there is one mental thing that sounds really bad, me like diagnosing you, but if I had to think of one, it would probably be OCD, even though
Yeah.
you probably don't have OCD.
But just compared. So yeah, Eeyore, I was the least at like 17%. And then
20% I had for Eeyore.
yeah. And then rabbit was 70%. So that just kind of shows like the
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay. I had 40% for Rabbit.
Okay. I had 20% for Rue, which was the autism category.
I had 50.
Well, we also did take an autism test
We
too.
did.
We'll have to go through that.
I'm excited to go through that one. Yeah.
But surprisingly, my next two after Rabbit was a tie between Christopher Robin with schizophrenia and Tigger with ADHD at 43%.
I had 40% for Christopher Robin.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's not that weird then.
No, I don't think so.
43%.
Also, I also do want to just say that none of this is scientifically proven.
No.
None of this is like is
It's a goddamn poo test.
They've got like disclaimers that are like, these are not anything that's truly going to tell you have autism or you have ADHD or whatever. Although I am diagnosed with ADHD and ADD, so that is kind of interesting.
Did you take any screenshots from the autism test, like of your like chart that you got?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, because I took a screenshot of mine too. I would be interested to see like how yours looks compared to mine.
Mine is okay. So let me give the rundown for the team here.
Also, not a scientific quiz either.
No,
same type.
I want to say first of all, let's talk about this for a second. We were talking about love on the spectrum a little bit and whatnot. I am not diagnosed with autism, and neither is Ryan. But the world seems to kind of think everybody has autism right now, sort of thing. And I don't know what to think about that. I don't know if
like people are using the term like normalizing.
Yeah. I don't really know what to think about that, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I guess I don't really know, but I do know that I don't think just knowing people who are autistic that it's necessarily a bad thing or that it's or that it's I'm really stumbling over my words talking about this because I'm not trying to get canceled by any means, but
probably also the more people become educated about what it is and whatnot, because probably 40, 50 years ago there wasn't a label for it and people just thought you
got lobotomized.
You were incredibly different than everyone else. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that like you can be incredibly different but also have special parts about yourself that set you apart from other people, and that doesn't make you a bad person or anything like that.
Yeah. I think that was really well said.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I think that was really well said.
That'll counteract any canceling that could have happened with you talking. So
please don't.
I'm just our PR guy here. So.
Oh my God. So basically the way this test worked was you answer a bunch of questions and then there's like a big wheel with a bunch of different aspects of autism, and it will show you what aspects you end up gravitating towards the most. And the aspects are of autism, based on this test, not on anything medically science or anything.
I don't remember how many questions this one was. It was probably like a good 30 to 50 questions on this.
I think it was 50. Yeah. It was depression, fixations, and this is like special interests. So like what you're, as a human, what you're fixated on, abnormal or flat speech pattern, noise sensitivity, social difficulty, anxiety, abnormal posture, poor eye contact, tics and fidgets, aggression, and depression. And that is basically what we're looking at here.
So quite a few. Below that gives you it doesn't give you like a percent of like your autism level or anything, but it does say like what your symptoms are and how. Does your screenshot show you that?
No, mine just says your autism spectrum symptoms.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it doesn't give you a percent. It just tells you like what level.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So I kind of want to reveal that first before I show you the chart.
Okay.
So it says for mine, which this was not a surprise to me. It says your autism spectrum symptoms are very low.
Okay.
So I did not score highly in any category, I don't think.
Interesting. Okay.
There are some that are a little bit higher than others, but it's not enough for it to be like low or moderate. I don't know what the other labels are for it, like what your symptoms hierarchy tier level could be.
I get what you're saying. Mine says your autism spectrum symptoms are moderate.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or moderate is what mine says. There is one category that I am maxed out in. That I am like to the brim.
Really? All the way to the end?
100%. Yeah.
Okay. Let me look at this and think.
And there's 4 categories that I'm at least 80% in.
I think for you, it's either going to be tics and fidgets or fixations.
Ticks and fidgets is number one. I have
Is it?
maxed that out
Yep.
completely. Ticks and fidgets. I am a very fidgety human being, and if you can't even tell it because my number one fidget are my two big toes, and they're going constantly, and they're playing beats. They're playing. They act as like my right hand and my left hand, where I'm like playing like a snare and a kick on them.
They're the metronome to your life, dude. That's what they
It's
are.
nonstop.
Yeah.
It is nonstop, and Alice calls me out on it all the time.
Even when you're like in bed too.
all the time.
The bugger.
Yeah, no, it doesn't bug her. No, but she's like, your toes are honestly like
Just
nonstop going. Yeah. So that's why that one's crazy.
Okay.
You said, what was the next one you said?
Fixations.
That's my next highest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you.
I know you know me. I get tunnel visioned on something and I get obsessed with it.
I want to show you what my chart looks like compared to yours then.
My other two though, I got to tell my other two though.
Oh, sure.
My other two is noise sensitivity.
Okay.
I do not like hand dryers. I do not like a lot of like weird. I don't like vacuums.
So you're like setting yourself up as like someone on like Love on the Spectrum because you know how they
they're
do like
George doesn't like horses, but he loves popcorn.
or the sound of people clapping. Like it's just like really strange. Like not strange, but it's
Yeah.
just like you wouldn't think that for some people.
And then my next highest is anxiety, which obviously is understandable because I am diagnosed with anxiety. My lowest is aggression and social difficulty.
Okay.
As well as my poor eye contact is incredibly low, abnormal posture, and then abnormal or flat speech is also actually that's my lowest is abnormal flat speech.
The posture one was weird because I feel like the questions in that quiz were like, has anyone told you have bad posture?
Yes.
And I was like, that's the only way they can tell.
I talked to Alice about that, and I was like, "Do I have bad posture?" I was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Not that I think.
Yeah,
not that I
exactly.
know of." I did think that though. Yeah, really specific.
Well, I think it's weird that we both actually have the same like higher scored categories. So for me, it also is tics and fidgets and fixations are my two highest that I scored
I'm not surprised.
on this. But which that makes sense to me. Like poor eye contact, very low. Same with abnormal posture,
Speech.
social difficulty, aggression. Yeah. Anxiety was a little bit higher, but not as high as like the fixations and tics and fidgets.
Yeah,
for
let me see what yours look like.
Yeah, this is what my chart looks like.
Oh man, that is wild.
Yours looks real colorful. I got like
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And I answered these like as honestly as I could too.
Same, I did too.
I wasn't trying to like game the system and get like a
No, me
low
too.
score on purpose.
No, me too. Me too.
That's funny.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Maybe I should check that out.
I'll send you my screenshot. And you can
Yeah.
show it to Alice.
That's wild. I'll send you mine too. The other one we took, which I was really surprised by the results for me, was the likable person test. Did you take that one?
I did, but also I wasn't surprised by the results that I got from it.
I was.
Really?
I was like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm a pretty likable person. I was a 70% likable person.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I got 80, almost 85%.
I got 70%.
I got 84.29. This is what my chart looks like.
Holy shit!
Like you want this one colored out, I think.
Oh yeah, you do.
What's the happiness? Dude, you're a happy guy.
Dude, I am a pretty happy guy, but like, I don't know,
I
like
did you dirty on this one.
maybe, yeah. My honesty is almost 100%, which I think is cool. I would say I'm pretty truthful, dude.
My honesty can't be 100% because of what I put you through with that prank.
True. No, my honesty is not 100%, but it's
Yeah.
like it's up there.
I got less honesty than you do though.
My friendliness is less than you, though. You're more friendly than I am.
I got friendly to the max is
Yeah,
mine.
you're maxed out. Your positivity is the same as mine. Your tolerance is a lot higher than mine, which I think that's 100% accurate. I do. I don't think I'm as patient as you. I think you're
Sure.
more patient of a human being. Your kindness is just about where I'm at.
Oh, I know. I've had to help you out a couple of times with cutting these episodes, so I got some good tolerance.
This is true. Be like, take 6. I'm going on editing.
It needs to be 150 megabytes.
I'm sorry, man.
No, I'm just making fun of you.
You're funnier than I am, though. Your humor is higher than mine.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I was maybe about 50% on that.
I don't think that means that I'm a funnier person, though. I think it just maybe means that, like, maybe I have a higher willingness to, like, joke around with someone than like someone else does.
I could see that. Yeah. Yeah.
Or trying to inject humor into like a situation.
Yeah.
I don't think that means that my type of humor is any funnier than someone else's.
Well, I guess you have more stands than I do from a bald bud perspective. Okay, we all know Ryan's the more likable guy than I.
Leave a comment if you think Nate's funnier.
Who you like more,
and then like this post if you think I'm the guy. Well, before the reason that I transitioned into this was because of the psychopath test.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And which, I mean, that also I was not surprised by the results.
No, I wasn't
some
either.
Some of the questions though, I thought were hilarious, and I screenshot some of them. Especially the very first question. It was so this is basically to see if you're a psychopath or not.
Yeah.
The first question says
basically to see if you're a psychopath or not.
The first question is, who do you want to assess for psychopathy? And the options are myself or someone else. And I was like, this is exactly the type of test a psychopath would take to see if someone else is a psychopath.
That's a really good thought process. Yeah. Exact type of test that a psychopath would take to see if someone else is a psychopath. Like, I'm not taking tests to see if anybody else is a psychopath.
Like, I don't think a psychopath can admit that they're a psychopath. So that's why they're taking this on behalf of like someone else.
I actually disagree with you on that.
I think so.
I think that most psychopaths know they're psychopaths.
And they're willing to admit it?
Yeah, because I mean, if you're a psychopath, like the big thing is like empathy, right? It's like if you don't feel empathy, that's like the #1 tell.
Yeah,
if you don't feel empathy, you're a psychopath. So
I've watched enough Mindhunter to know that.
Yeah. Which R.I.P. man.
I know.
Let's get season 2.
Or is it season 3?
I'll cut.
Do they have 2
a toe
seasons,
off.
or is it just 1 season?
1 season.
Oh yeah.
I'll cut a toe off for season 2.
Show.
That show ruled. Yeah. But no, I mean, you got to know that, like, if people are like, you're at like a funeral and people are crying and you're like, I don't feel anything, even though this was my best friend, you got to know in your head that something's wrong, right?
Yeah.
Or that you're the outlier.
Yeah, like, either everyone else is way too emotional or you're just not emotional enough type of thing.
Yeah.
But also, I do feel like psychopaths, they are like usually pretty intelligent people too. So I mean,
very
like,
much.
So I do think that like they have enough like insight and reflection to kind of think that way.
Yeah.
Even though they might not have the amount of empathy that some people.
And they don't feel guilt either, which is crazy. Yeah. That's crazy to me.
Let's see. Another question that I screenshot was, I have at some point in my life been given a mild reprimand or warning by the authorities on condition that I did not repeat my offense, yet nevertheless ended up repeating the offense anyways.
It's awesome. I think one was just like, have you ever been in trouble with the law?
That's basically what that question was. It's just like,
yeah,
you did not need to say that many words to say I've been in trouble with the law.
But I think it says like, I've repeated. I should have just said like,
I'm a repeat offender.
Are you a repeat offender? Yeah. I should have just said, are you a repeat offender?
It's like someone put that question to ChatGPT. Make this question as long as possible. Am I a repeat offender? It just filled out.
They really wanted to make sure you understood it.
Let's see. The only other question I screenshot was, I live like a parasite on others, borrowing money I will never pay back, cynically exploiting others for favors, etc.
Damn.
I was like, wow, they really they're not holding back on these questions.
You should know if you answer yes to that alone.
Yeah.
You're a psychopath.
Like, there's no way that they could have worded that a little bit more gently so that someone might be like, I may have borrowed money with like accidentally not paying someone back.
Yeah.
You know, they could have been a little bit more gentle with it, I think, if they wanted.
Well, I'm dying to know where you're at. It's a graph. It's a XY axis. You've got on the left, you've got sociopath. You've got on the right, you've got psychopath. Down here on the bottom left, you've got normal, and on the right, you've got impulsive. And then
maybe we didn't take the same one.
Oh shit! It basically mine tells you the percentage you are sociopathic, the percentage you are impulsive, and then it tells you the percentage either more or less you are psychopathic to the average person.
Maybe, yeah, I have some of those, but it's not laid out the same way that you're talking about it.
Okay.
But so for me, I guess it doesn't matter because it's still the same thing where like it puts you, there's like a psychopathic threshold
Yeah.
where like if you hit that or you're above it, you're a psychopath.
Yeah.
And then there's like the population average below that bar graph. So it's
Okay.
pretty similar, but
the same. It's same thing.
yeah, but very same categories. I've got psychopathic, interpersonal style, lifestyle, overt antisocial features, and then just overall a total psychopathy
Okay.
rating.
Yeah.
But I am below the population average in terms of being a psychopath.
Me too.
Good. I was
But I'm only 5.27% less psychopathic than the average population.
Oh, well, this might surprise you. I'm 4.5% less psychopathic than the average person.
All right. Cool.
I might be a little bit more psychopathic than you are.
You think so?
I think that's what that means.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. Mine
Uh,
says that I'm 18.75% sociopathic, which I think I get that. I'm definitely not a sociopath, but I think in certain like situations or instances, I do have like I'm selfish. I do have like a I gotta look out for me sort of thing, you know. And I'll admit that.
and that one wasn't a category on my scoring, so I don't have anything to compare that to.
Fair. And then the other one was I'm 20.45% impulsive, which I totally agree with. I am not an impulsive person. I am very much like I'm not a risk taker. I don't like to gamble. I don't like to take risks.
I would disagree with that.
You think so?
I knew you back in your like your shit disturber
Okay,
phase.
I'm grown. I'm grown.
Had you taken that quiz back then, you probably would have got a different score. But
Might have been a little bit more impulsive.
I know you used to be a Hellraiser back in the day. I know you. I know you.
That's fair. That's fair. Nothing bad. I'm not like, burning houses down or anything like that.
Thank God. Thank God.
All right. Earlier I was talking about losing weight.
Yeah. For
Got
the
it.
wedding.
For the wedding.
Well, just life in general.
Life in
probably.
general.
Yeah.
Life in general. But the wedding is good like motivation
Sure.
for that. Definitely. 100%. But we now go to separate gyms. So Ryan, let me back up here. Ryan and I have been going to the gym together for a long time now. I would say 5 years.
Yeah.
It's like
Maybe
2018, 2019, because it was pre-COVID when we were going to the gym together.
it might even have been like before that, like 20. I think I've had a membership to this place since like 2015, maybe. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Well, I've had a membership
Yeah.
for a long time to this place, but there was like a 4-year stint I didn't go.
Sure.
Like there was a really long time I didn't go. But
I do think that for me though, like back when I did have it that early on, I only went when I would go with like you guys. I wouldn't go on my own.
same.
I think I was afraid to.
Yeah, same. It's a public setting, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people there who are aggressive looking
Yeah.
and good looking
Yeah.
as well.
Speaking of which, that's you now.
What?
Good looking at the gym.
Oh, thanks, man.
You're one of those people now.
Thanks, man. Not yet. Maybe at one point in time, man, I'd like to drop like 30 pounds. I feel like I say that. I've been saying that for the last like 4 years, man. I'd really like to drop like 30 pounds.
Then I'll be happy.
Then I'll be happy, yeah. But no, yeah, like 30 pounds. But anyways, Ryan moved recently, and so you and I don't go to the same gym. We don't live very far away, but we live far enough to where it makes sense for you to go to a different gym than I go to.
It's not so much where I live to, but it's also like work related. Like
Yeah.
they're just being one close to my job, so that it's in a different location. It just is more convenient for me.
Yeah.
That's I think that's probably like the main reason. If the other one was like on the way home for me, I would go to the one that you're still going to, but that's just kind of the reality of it.
And I mean, at one point in time, we were going 5-6 days a week, but I would say you and I are now steady 3-4 days,
Mhm. Yeah.
5, even if it's a good week. But there's a lot of crap that we see. And unfortunately, now that we have 2 different gyms, the lore of the gym is a little bit different. Where, think about it. There's two guys that are going to the same gym almost every single day.
Yep.
You're going to start making little stories and little lore about the people that are the regulars that you see there.
Oh yeah. Yep.
We've had a lot of lore,
Over-
gym lore, over the last 5-6 years.
Yeah. Yep.
But now it's interesting. There's a guy who used to run the gym that we used to both attend.
Last night you called him the mayor.
I called him the mayor.
The mayor of the gym.
Yeah. He's the mayor. He's the mayor.
He's not afraid to go up and talk to everybody.
No, he's hitting on everyone.
Yeah.
He's hitting on every single person in the gym.
He's okay. So I've never had a conversation with this person, but I've seen him. He's not afraid to talk to like a lot of the women at the gym.
Yeah.
Which is probably why he's not talking to me.
That, and also like, I've seen him win and I've seen him lose.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this guy, he's gone up to women and he's shot his shot which don't do that. Let's just get that out of the way right now. If you're in a gym, don't shoot your shot with a woman.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. Yeah. Don't talk to him.
Don't be the mayor.
Don't be the mayor. Yep. But he's also had I've seen some interactions where he's been like, nice tattoos. And they're just like, fuck off,
To this guy. He
Yeah,
said
yeah.
that?
Well, no, I'm exaggerating.
Oh,
but
sure.
they're just kind of like get lost, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to be dramatic there.
Yeah. But
Um,
I mean, speaking of tattoos, that's part of my nickname for this guy.
yes,
'Cause I call him Tribal Man
totally tribaled out,
because he's got like tribal tattoos, like
which is so funny
across his
because
biceps and-
every single guy at the gym
that's true.
has tribal tattoos.
So the best part is you won't know who we're talking about.
Exactly. Almost 50% of the population of men at the gym have tribal tattoos.
Yeah.
But this guy's got a lot of tribal
And
tattoos.
if we can't see it, you probably still got one that we can't see. So
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. But he now is he's at Ryan's gym.
I have seen him,
And it's pretty funny because which is weird because he's been at the one that I've been at for just as long as I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the man anymore, but now Ryan sees him, so now I'm thinking maybe he's going to that gym before you.
Well, that could be. He's switching teams now.
No, I'm just kidding. That's definitely not why. I think my hypothesis is, like
Well,
I
it's
said,
both of our hypotheses at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, we've really done some digging here. Is that he had a woman that he was going to the gym with quite often,
Yep.
and now that woman continues to go to my gym, and he goes to Ryan's gym. So I think they were like a gym power couple,
Mm-hmm.
and then they broke up, and
she won the
people
turf.
aren't going to give a shit about this. I don't know why I'm talking about this.
She won the turf war. Obviously, that's what it was. She kicked him out of the gym.
That's exactly what it was.
She became the new mayor. She's the new mayor.
She is the new mayor. Yeah.
He ran his campaign. He wasn't reelected, so he got the boot.
She is intimidating. If she is
Yeah.
the mayor, she is a very
Ruthless mayor.
like her face is like
Yeah.
it's yep. I don't know her, so I'm not judging her at all. I don't know anything about this woman whatsoever. But
I think the funniest thing about all of this, though, is I know you say that like you don't know why we're talking about this, but obviously I'm no longer going to the same gym with you, and people probably have lore about the two of us.
yeah, I think about that all the time. I'm like, dude, I know damn well the gym thinks I'm gay.
Yeah.
I know they do. The gym 100% is like, dude, those two bald guys that sleep with each other, they broke up.
Yeah.
They did the same thing about you and I. Yeah.
And so maybe it's actually a similar situation with Tribal Man. Maybe he moved, and that's why he's going to that gym. He's still seeing that chick. He's like, dude, I'm seeing that other bald guy at this gym now. I think those gay guys broke up.
Dude.
What if that's the
I
reality?
didn't think about it that way, but that's hilarious. That's
Those
crazy.
gay bald guys, they broke up. They broke up.
My God. I have thought about that though, where I've been like, people have to be like, man, did they break it off, or did one of them fall off the train, or did they? Yeah, I've definitely thought about that for sure.
Maybe one of these days I'll come back though. I'll be, because you got a pass that'll let me in, so maybe I can use your buddy pass, or maybe I'll switch gyms or something. And just show up randomly and just
We're still together.
surprise the hell out of people.
We're still together. It's interesting when you think about it that like you spend, let's say in our when we were, which I'm gonna get back to, and it's on camera now. So when I was going 5-6 times a day, you're seeing people every week, total of 8 hours a week,
Mm-hmm.
that you are seeing every single week that you're never talking to.
These people at the gym, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's very fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you have this like coexisting, you even share glances with people, every so often. But it's really interesting to me that,
I think of it very similarly to like almost like being in like a workspace with these people. Because my fiance would sometimes come to the gym with me. This was before we were living together. And so sometimes we would like leave the gym and kind of just like she'd go back to her apartment, I'd go back to mine because we didn't have a house yet.
yeah.
And it, like I said, it was before we were living together. And if like she was still in the gym and I wanted to leave early, she would always want like a kiss goodbye.
Yeah, I
And-
remember this.
And I'm not like a big like PDA guy, especially in the gym, because I feel like that's kind of like weird for other
Workplace.
people to see. Yeah, I was like, I see the gym as like a workplace for me. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that if I was working with you in an office and like we're saying goodbye to you. I think that would not go over very well.
I wouldn't do it either.
Yeah, so I kind of see that as like the same place. So I think that it does have kind of like a similar like a work vibe type of thing where there's certain people that you don't interact with, but at a gym it's like I don't interact with anybody.
And I think that's why it boggles my mind, is because in a workplace setting, I'm talking to everybody.
Yeah,
Even people that are not on like my team, that are on like different like sub teams.
true.
Like, I'm talking to them,
Yeah.
And there are times where,
Everyone's plugged in at the gym though. They got their own.
Yeah.
They got their headphones on, so it's
I've had a couple interactions though where people have came up and said stuff to me.
yeah. I don't
I've
get
had
that though.
you don't, and I do.
No,
I get that.
You
I
get
get
the
that a
weird
lot
people
more than
talking
you.
to you.
Yeah. I get that. Some of them are really cool though. I have had a couple interactions where somebody's just came up to me and like, "Hey man, you killed it today."
That's awesome.
I've had a couple like 2 interactions like that.
Yeah.
Where, like some guy was like watching me do something and I was probably really struggling
Yeah.
and like out of breath and whatnot, and he's probably like, "Dude, that guy's really trying to do this."
Or
Like,
maybe he was trying to hit on you. He's trying to become the new mayor.
it could be. He's trying to become the new mayor.
That's part of his new campaign program. He's
Trying to hit on me. I don't know.
hitting on the bald guys first.
I do feel like it's weird though when people are like, "Hey man, I want to share this," and they come up. That's happened to me a few times. I think it's happened to you too, right? Or no?
Want like share a machine? I've never had anyone
You've
want
never
to share
had
a
anybody?
machine. No.
Yeah, they've been like,
No, but what bugs me though is if someone like leaves their stuff on a machine to go to do like dumbbell stuff and then come back, they're like hogging 2 machines at once. That bothers the hell.
I'm not
out
gonna
of me.
lie. I get in my head, is that because it happens a lot,
Yeah.
and I get in my head, is that normal? Are we
No.
the weirdos that think that that shouldn't be that way, or is that like upper echelon, higher tier of like gym person?
I
That's
think-
how you have to do it.
If you were going to like an Arnold Schwarzenegger Gold's Gym thing, or like a really high tier gym, I don't think that would be that weird. But if
Not
you're going,
budget gym.
if you're going to a budget gym, that's kind of a stupid thing to do. I think.
Okay,
kind
that's
of
fair.
That's kind of an ego thing. I think like to just, or maybe it's a psychopath thing to not have like thinking about others when you're at the gym.
The empathy of
Yeah.
others. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe, dude.
Yeah.
It is funny. I mean, it's
That's
kind of
the actual psychopath. That's if you ever left to go do dumbbells while you're still on another machine, that should have been a question.
you're a
on that quiz.
psychopath. Yeah, if you're hogging 2 machines and you don't care about other people,
At a gym, you're a psychopath.
you got bodies in your basement.
Yeah.
But it is weird how the gym has come full circle for us, where when we first went, like you said, you've had it since like 2015. I have too. There was a
Mhm.
stint where you and I and like 4 other guys, no, maybe 3 other guys, 2 other guys even, would go like at night. And we would
Mm.
go like late at night. We would go like 8, 9 p.m. sometimes.
Yep.
And honestly, the goal was not to work out. The goal was to just mess around
Hang out.
and just have a place to,
Yeah.
we couldn't drink at the time. It was, or I couldn't at least, I was underage.
It was something else
Um,
besides walking around a Walmart Supercenter at midnight.
Yep. So we would go and it was like 4 or 5 guys all using one machine.
Yep.
So it would just be like, we're all hanging out, we're talking, and it would take a half hour to get
Through one
3
machine.
sets of a bench press done or something like that, And people would hate that. There was a woman, I'll never forget it. There was a woman who came up to us when we were on a machine. I don't know if you were there that night, but there was a woman who came up to us, and she was drenched in sweat. She was really hurt. She was elevated, and she had a smartwatch on, or she had a heart rate monitor on. Smartwatches didn't exist
That's
yet.
true. Yeah, this was back
She
in
had
the day.
she had a heart rate monitor on. And she said, "Are you done?" She said, let's go. Come on, let's go." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And she said, "I'm on a schedule. I'm trying to keep my heart rate up, and I got to get to this thing. And you guys have been messing around on this thing for the last, half hour or whatnot." And I remember thinking for so many years, I was like, "What a bitch
What's
was
her
like,
problem?
yeah, like what, like why? What's your deal? Like, what is your problem?
Like, look at the rest of these machines that aren't being used.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now I am the person in the gym going,
Same.
freaking kids.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, get out of here.
Well, that
you
and
know?
just like, yeah, I feel the exact same way where it's
like, I get it.
I got to get to my machine.
Like, we were a disturber.
Yeah.
Like, we were holding the line up. We were being obnoxious kids. And I get it now.
Yep.
Apologize.
I have to pause right here. I have to pee so bad right now.
That's okay.
We have to have a bathroom break every now and then.
That's true. That's true.
I just came back from peeing. Have you ever had to pee so bad that like it changes the way you walk? Because
Yeah.
that was me just now. I had to. Oh my god.
Yeah. Like the pressure on your bladder is so
Yes.
much that you have to walk different.
Yeah, which is kind of abnormal for me because I'm not like
You have a big bladder.
I'm usually someone that can hold it pretty well.
Yeah, you have a big
I
bladder.
was
Yeah.
struggling. That whole time you were telling that story, I was like, I kind of gotta go. I have to. I wasn't trying to hurry you up, but I was like, I need to like find a good segue out of this to go to the bathroom.
Brian's like, I was there. I get it. I know. I gotta piss,
Yes,
man.
the gym. Okay, let's go. Let's get it over with.
This was good though, man. It's good to catch up with you. It's been a minute. Like I said, it's been like 3 weeks since I've seen you, which is really abnormal for us.
I know, yeah.
So it's been good. I think that today ruled.
Today ruled.
It's a good day. Good day to be bald.
We are not mid. Your king is not mid.
We are not mid.
No,
You know what? We're not mid.
we're bald. That's what we are.
That's what's up. Love you guys.
Love you, baldies.